How do I find a lost or missing person? Every day we get calls of people requesting us to find a lost or missing person. First thing is to differentiate between these two. A more simpler investigation is a locate. This is when maybe you want to contact an old friend that you lost touch with, someone moved away and you don't have their updated information, a lost love from the past, an old college friend, things like that. This is what we would consider a locate. We basically need to just kind of find out where they are now, currently, get their new contact information, and provide that to a client. We wouldn't categorize this as a missing persons investigation. You as an individual may be able to investigate or locate somebody yourself. Nowadays with the internet and all this social media, a lot of times it's easy to reconnect with old people. There's a lot of public information, a lot of things online. When it comes to a missing persons investigation, this is a much more complex and more detailed investigation. I strongly recommend, if there is a missing persons investigation or you believe someone's missing, is not to take matters into your own hands. Conducting a missing persons investigation doesn't necessarily mean that it's criminal. What it really means to our clients is that person is missing to you. So whatever the circumstances are, we need to investigate. Why did this person go missing? Basically, we need to determine, well, is this under suspicious circumstances or not? Do we believe or hypothesize that they left on their own free will, or is there a cause or a stressor that caused them to disappear or leave? You need a seasoned investigator that knows how to conduct and utilize the proper steps. Many of the clients who hire us have family members that have either left on their own volition or disappeared and are suffering from either mental difficulties or illnesses, some kind of drug or substance abuse. Having a detailed consultation with a client to ask questions and determine what may have transpired up until the person had went missing will be key in trying to locate or find the missing person. Every missing persons investigation is different. We have to establish all the information regarding that individual, why they may have went missing, and the circumstances leading up to it. One of the first steps in a missing persons investigation is to make sure the person is not hurt, injured, or possibly in jail. So we want to establish that they're not in any hospital, any medical facility, the morgue, or have been arrested or in jail. The second step is conducting very thorough interviews. Now, the interviews can be done with family, friends, co-workers, roommates, places where the missing person frequents, such as gyms, clubs that they belong to, or hobbies they're involved with. So there might be information that a family has, friends might have other information, co-workers might have other information, and you want to get all the most up-to-date information from everyone, because there may be information out there that one person doesn't connect to the other person, or it's not shared information. So it's an extremely important step when starting a missing persons investigation. Checking social media accounts can be helpful in an investigation. However, in missing persons investigations, a lot of these accounts are no longer used, thus making information getting from them less useful. If an individual is an avid social media user and then all that usage stops, that is a factor in a missing persons investigation. You might be able to go back in the history of their accounts to see if you can gain useful leads or information that might be helpful in pointing in the direction of where to look for them. There are cases where someone goes missing, but they don't want to be found. And if you're an adult and if you're of sound mind, you have the right to disappear. It still doesn't make it easier for a family. They still want to have the questions answered. Are they safe? Are they okay? And we want to answer those questions. Canvassing is a technique used in missing persons investigation. And what canvassing is visiting the locations that are involved in the individual's life. Canvassing is very important because many times we uncover witnesses that have useful information or leads that we can act upon in locating a missing person. We also want to determine, how did this person get around? Are they in a car? Are they using mass transit? I will say that they say Big Brother is watching, and that is true. But now I say to everybody, brother's watching, sister, mother, father. What that means is everybody now has cameras. We have cameras on our cell phones, there's security of cameras on people's houses and buildings and all public places. So being able to canvass and look for camera footage or indicators where the person might have been last and build a timeline is very important in a missing persons investigation. Utilizing police, contacts, and informants are also part of a missing persons case. The police may be investigating your missing persons case, or they may not be. It could be a cold case, a case that they looked into, or a case that they haven't worked on much. In my experience, one of the issues with working with law enforcement is, unfortunately, they are overworked, undermanned, have huge caseloads, and they can only dedicate a small amount of time to every investigation. When hiring a private investigator, we're dedicating the time to find a missing person. So we're out there actively investigating and putting time and effort to try to find them. Using the public in a missing persons investigation. Yes, the public can be beneficial in certain missing person cases, but we do have to be careful because a lot of times when clients are coming to us with a lost family member or a missing person, sometimes these people don't want to be found. Sometimes they're suffering from some kind of mental disorders or difficulties or illnesses. We have to be very careful when we're going to use overt or covert tactics. With any investigation, the more information we have, the better the outcome may be. However, does that mean we can't investigate situations with limited information? There are cases where we have little information and they're able to be solved, and there's cases that we have a wealth of information and sometimes may not be solved. I mean, just recently I had a situation where a client had hired us. They actually were people that lived in Ireland. Their son, who was suffering, unfortunately, for some mental difficulties, was living in England. He went missing from England, went to Canada, entered the US illegally, and was homeless in New York. So there was very little information to go on with this case. Yeah, we had photos and we had some pedigree information, but this person was not even missing here or from here. He was here, he wasn't a citizen, he was gonna have very limited information. This case, with limited information, was able to be solved. We ended up locating him and reuniting him with his family and getting the help that he needed. At the end of the day, reuniting missing people with their families, getting people the help they may need is extremely important here. That's one of our primary goals and what we look to do in a missing persons investigation. Investigating on your own a missing persons case is not recommended. If you have a family member or friend that's missing, I suggest you hire a professional private investigator to help investigate the matter.